kind of my segue too on that piece is just, we talk about it a little bit, is just adding real estate to your real estate. I like to call it a well-insulated real estate portfolio, but just being able to add either maybe bedrooms in the student capacity or even a coach house. If you look at kind of what Bill 108 allows for now in the city of Guelph, I know you're pretty passionate about those pieces, but do you want to talk about just a little bit more about that? Just kind of looking at maybe that duplex to coach house model, or kind of what you're seeing on that side, just in terms of just adding more density to your real estate.
Yeah. I again, it's something that we get involved with clients in consulting and just looking at how to optimize their real estate investments. So I know I've dealt with a couple of layouts where we were basically able to find some space that was underutilized and turn it into an additional bedroom to, take a 3-bedroom unit and turn it into a 4-bedroom unit, or looking at one property where we had a 3-bedroom unit above and a 2-bedroom unit below. And realized that our 1 and 2-bedroom units are renting for about the same dollar right now. So what we did is we took away one of the bedrooms from the 2-bedroom, converted it back into a 1-bedroom, and then added that bedroom to the upper unit, which allowed that to become a 4-bedroom unit. Right. By making a minor layout change, we were able to increase our rent by another $700 a month at the property, which would be about a 20% lift. And that was a relatively easy renovation. When we get into coach housing, right now there's 2 ways to look at that. It is a more labor intensive process, and it's something that's a little bit more permanent. I do think it's where the market's trending overall, because that's how we're going to add a lot more supply to the market. Right now, from a cost perspective, you're looking at start to finish, you may be in between, $150,000 to $200,000 to create, basically you're creating a freestanding house in your backyard, and totally allowable under or zoning regulations. And, you may not make friends with your neighbor doing something like that, but at the end of the day, I think as it becomes more common, I think, those stigmas are going to go away. And the trick right now with the price points, $150,000 to $200,000 to invest in real estate is also the down payment on another rental property. So, are you going to take that money and are you going to, build a 2-bedroom apartment, or are you going to use that to buy a 6-bedroom rental? Right now, that's the conversation that we're having. The thing we're seeing in the market, though, is the lack of opportunity to buy that 6-bedroom rental. Means that if you're sitting on some cash and making another purchase just isn't going to be something that you can do straight away, then again, taking that money, reinvesting in your own asset to create coach housing is, it's an opportunity, and I think you're only kind of creating value there, because now you've basically turned your single family residence into a multi-unit residential home, which now can be evaluated based on your market capitalization or your cap rate, to look at what kind of revenue that property brings in, what kind of debt it can carry. And now you can leveraging that asset separately. Creates just another way, like you said, to add real estate to your real estate, and to increase your monthly revenue, increase the size and the value of your assets.
Yeah, I think that's a great way. I mean, you use the word optimization as well. I think, when you look at that real estate investment management side, we're kind of looking beyond just lease optimization now, just jacking up the rents, but looking at ways to either add, a higher standard of quality, or even add real estate to your real estate. I think that's 2 great ways to really insulate that portfolio. And then, as kind of mortgage money maybe becomes unavailable, or as the portfolio becomes more mature, because you've got maybe 10 properties in your portfolio, you have the opportunity to then go back and double down on some properties and still add real estate to your real estate. So definitely a great way to look at it, and definitely a great way to continue to optimize that portfolio for the long term.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you're a guy who wants to try and swing a hammer and and do your own renovation too, it's definitely a project you can take on. I would say that really what you want to do if you're going to be getting into that type of capital expenditure is just to make sure that you do it well. In kind of the mix of clients that I've got, there are a few that are looking at that type of setup for a few reasons. One, looking at multi-generational homes, and clients who may have a child who's special needs, or a parent who's going to need a little bit more assistance, and that's where young adults can live with their parents in the same place, but have their own separate accommodation. And it allows for, assisted living in that regard. It also allows, buyers that thought that they'd be able to, get anything they wanted for, 1.2 to 1.5 million. Now that's becoming a much more competitive price point, and you don't get as much as you would think. Yeah. But if you've got, two families that are each disposing of an $800,000 home, and want to kind of team up and look at a multi-unit living situation, where they've got a really nice coach house or apartment, there's a real opportunity for them to kind of team up resources and create something pretty special and pretty unique.
Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, you talk about that team aspect a little bit too. I mean, you've got some experience building some of those coach houses out of your place there. Are there folks popping up now that are kind of specializing in that coach house kind of smaller build construction piece where they're doing this on a more specialized basis, or are you still seeing folks kind of run that general contractor's hat, out of their own business?
Well, we're seeing general contractors in that space for the most part. I do know a few people who are trying a little bit more on their own. I mean, at the end of the day, it is building a house, so you're right into foundations and service hookups. You may need a planning consultant to help you with the site survey and just make sure that you're conforming to the existing building bylaw. It's an opportunity where there's a lot of people getting into the tiny home space, creating even if you don't want people to live out there, but you're looking for a separate home office. Well, our buddy Yanis has just started a company in Guelph. Creating exactly that, because I think there's a need. People want to put more into their own real estate. They want to get more out of their homes. And when you can't buy, renovating looks like the next logical step for you. And I think we're seeing again, not just coach housing, but I know some people who are looking at that for home office, or just, once your kids become teenagers, you may want a little bit more space inside your house, and maybe that means you stepping out, or you asking them to, go party in the backyard where they got a shed built up for that. So, just cost-effective ways to get more out of your real estate. But I think it's a pretty neat direction that we're trending in, because I think seeing some of the product that existed already prior to the bylaw coming into place, like they were always really unique and neat spaces, and especially if you've got a bit of land, you can really do whatever you want with it. So neat to see that opening up as an opportunity in the market, and I know I'm looking forward to partnering with a few people to try and get some of those projects off the ground, and just learn by doing them.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I mean, we talk about it a lot more too, and just that garden suite is also kind of that office suite as well. So just kind of adding more real estate to your real estate. It's a pretty good game to me. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Great spot for a home office, nice to be able to just commute your flip flops across your pool deck to go sit in the backyard and fire up a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, now we're talking. All right, Dave, appreciate it, buddy. That's a great chat on real estate investment management and adding real estate to your real estate. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, man, good talk.